Hello everyone and welcome back to Tempeh Book Chatting. How are you all? I am so tired. The last few weeks have been very stressful because of my job, the amount of studying that I have to do, and the anxiety that both my job and all that amount of study give me. Haha. I also got some good news that motivated me and pushed me through this half a month. Anyway, I was tagged on this Bookstagram trend by a friend of mine, Alex, who's also a writer, and I thought to myself, why not answering with a journaling video? So here I am. Before opening up and letting you all see the inner parts of my reading soul, I want to clarify that this is exactly how I chose these 6 books here. This won't be a list of my all-time favorites, but a list of the novels that shaped me as a reader and helped me define the genre that I love to read. Of course, I love these novels, and as you'll see in a little while, I might be a vegan in real life, but when it comes to books, I'm more of an omnivore. Okay, so book number 1 is The Clown by Heinrich Böll. Published in German in 1963, I thrifted it in Rome in 2014 maybe. I was 18 and freshly graduated from high school, and I had to decide what to do with my life. After reading this book, it was clear to me. I wanted to study literature. I wanted to learn how to critically talk about a novel, how to critically form an opinion about it, and this book served as a game changer for me. Its bitter irony, its tragicomic ending, left me with a sparkle that I then ignited during my university studies. If you're looking for a post-war novel with ferocious critique to the hypocrisy of the post-Nazi Germany, The Clown should be your next reading. And yes, the protagonist is an actual clown. He does that for a living. Book number 2 is Jane Eyre by Charlotte Brontë. I read this book twice. The first time I was barely a teenager. I was maybe 15 or 16. Then I reread this novel for an English lit exam. The gothic setting of Thornfield Hall, Jane's strong sense of morality, the appearance of Bertha Mason, which later gave birth to an important current of feminist criticism, are the elements that make this book so outstanding to me. The love story, reader, I don't care about that, but I loved how Rochester dressed up as a fortune teller to try and ask Jane about her secret and intimate thoughts. Jane, girl, you could have had so much better. Book number 3 is My Salinger Year by Joanna Rakoff. I read it maybe 2 years ago after watching the movie starring Margaret Qualley and Sigourney Weaver, which I loved. This book became a sort of comfort book for me. Not in the sense that I reread it from time to time, but in the sense that I think about this story and feel good. I just feel good thinking about it. I would describe it as a love story between the protagonist, Joanna, and books, literature, writing, New York. I would give anything to be sucked inside the pages of this book and live Joanna's life in that famous publishing agency among books and dictaphones. It's an autobiographical account of Joanna Rakoff's first job in New York, and I love autobiographies. Book number 4 is The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath, and this is also a semi-autobiography. I met Plath the poet first. I read Lady Lazarus and then her poetry collection, Ariel, and I felt the need to know her better, so I read The Bell Jar. After finishing The Bell Jar, I resolved that I had to understand more of her, and I read her diaries. It's still not enough, though. What would we know about her if Hughes hadn't destroyed the latest entries of her diary? It's strange, but I feel like if we had met in real life, Sylvia and I would have been friends. Or at least I hope so. Book number 5 is The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. She is my all-time favorite author. Her writing style, her wit, her irony, everything about her is majestic. I read the book a few years before watching the amazing Netflix show, and I have to admit that the book scared me far more than the show. I remember reading it with the lights on and only after being sure that I wasn't home alone. The scene of Theodora and Eleanor hugging each other in the bedroom with the bangs and the screams coming from outside the door lives in my mind rent-free. So scary. If Sylvia Plath would have been my friend, Shirley Jackson would have been my sister had we been alive at the same time. Plath and Jackson's books are all next to one another on my bookshelves, and I'll show you the pictures one day. I love fantasizing about what they could possibly tell each other if they had the opportunity to chat about their husbands. Last but not least, book number 6 is Better Than the Movies by Lynn, which is very different from the novels I've mentioned so far, but what can I say? I love a good young adult rom-com. Wes Bennett, honey, I will always protect you, and that's a promise. This story is so heartwarming that I let out multiple giggles while reading. The references to the most famous early 2000s rom-coms are definitely my thing. If you're looking for a cute story with a happy ending, deep and well-rounded characters, and an entertaining plot, this book is for you. Okay, so if you reached the end of the video, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Books and literature in general have always been my biggest passion, but this is the first time that I actually try and talk about it more. So thank you, really, thank you. Please let me know in the comments your 6 books to get to know me, and you can follow me on Instagram for more bookish and journaling content. Have a nice day. Bye!